Jessica Oker. I've gotten to work with a lot of you guys in the work comp or liability space over the years, but one of my passions, if you've ever gotten to talk to me probably for more than 2 minutes, you'll know it's Ayurveda. So I have been studying Ayurveda for a number of years, and we do have a clinic that's open in Clearwater to help support people on site. We also work with people kind of across the world individually. And one of the things that I love to do is share some of the power behind Ayurveda. So one of the things that we chose today to talk about was top 10 Ayurvedic herbs for immunity, especially as we're coming into the fall. There's a lot of things that we can do to support our overall immunity, according to Ayurveda. It's a very foreign concept. The word is kind of hard to pronounce. Most people, including myself, until Ayurveda came into my life, I had no idea what it was or what it meant. So I like to start the class as a little bit of a recap or definition so that people can kind of become familiar with Ayurveda. And what's interesting is you'll find that it's probably a little bit more familiar than you think. Yoga is a physical expression of Ayurveda. They are very big on meditation. Acupressure and acupuncture come from Ayurveda. Herbal medicine, color therapy, light therapy, crystals, home design, all kind of fall under the umbrella of Ayurveda. So, but what is Ayurveda? So in Sanskrit, it does translate to the study of life. Ayur is study and Veda is life. It is a holistic system of wellness that was rooted in ancient India. The goal is to teach us how to live our lives without disease or suffering. It is the precursor to traditional Chinese medicine. It was created 10,000 years ago, but it wasn't written down till almost 5,000 years ago. And I believe the oldest Sanskrit text is called Charak, which is the medical outline of Ayurveda. The goal is not to just treat symptoms. We like to get to the root cause of what they consider to be an imbalance. They're not really big on a label saying that you have a certain disease. They're more of you're just imbalanced because they don't want you to attach to anything as a human. Very big on unattachment. So that would include any type of disease or illness that you have. We don't want it to sit with you. So we consider it to be an imbalance. Also, they believe that some of the root cause has to do with our physical bodies getting out of balance in contrast with our true nature. Ayurveda has 8 branches of study defined as internal medicine, pediatrics, surgery, ENT and head, psychotherapy, toxicology, rejuvenation, or geriatrics, and sexuality, which also includes reproduction. Ayurveda does an amazing job at helping people who are infertile. It is a blueprint for wellness that guides individuals to honor their unique constitution, again, find balance, align with your true nature, and we accomplish this through lifestyle and herbal energetics. I always like to include Ayurveda's definition of health because it's a little bit different than what we're accustomed to. They do believe in energies within the physical body. Everyone has a unique signature, and that unique signature can categorize us into 3 headers. One would be called Vata, one is called Pitta, and one is called Kapha. So you identify your constitution that you most align with, and I can help anybody do that, or you can find a quiz online. But they also believe that the root of disease comes from impaired digestion. So we want to make sure that your digestive fire is processing appropriately, that you're assimilating what you ingest, right? Because if you have the healthiest diet on the planet, but you don't process it, it's not going to really benefit you. We also want an appropriately functioning metabolism. When those things are operating in sequence, the body tissues and components or organ systems will be nourished when balanced with appropriate frequency of excretory functions. And it's done all with a perfectly combined pleasant disposition, right? Mind, body, and spirit, when they're all working together as one, they are said to be in balance or in good health. There's a couple of terms that I want to throw out there for us so you can kind of understand how the immune system works according to Ayurveda. So you may have heard of prana before. In Ayurveda, they call it ojas. It's a subtle energy that is said to be generated by the body when we have true health. They like umbrella terms. So ojas is going to be your vitality, your immunity, your ability to combat stress, your strength, and your fertility. They believe that digestion takes 35 days to fully transit through the entire body. So if you eat something positive today, it's said to take 35 days to get through all of your organ systems to fully nourish your body. And at the end of 35 days, you will create this subtle energy called ojas, or you will have positive health and immunity. If you don't have proper and complete nourishment, you're not said to have enough ojas, right? So what are the layers of the body? So how do we get through to get this immunity? They do believe in a sequence or kind of like a domino of organ systems that are nourished when you eat. So one of the first organ systems is going to be your rasa or your plasma, your blood, your muscle, your adipose tissue, the bones, the nervous system, and then the reproductive system. So this whole process takes 35 days. There's an old adage in Ayurveda that says you're only as healthy as your rasa, because if it gets past the rasa, if an imbalance, an energy gets past the rasa, or perhaps you're eating something that doesn't support positive health, it's going to affect that system first. Then our Ayurvedic practitioners will look at each organ system to find where have you been compromised, so that we can maybe target those specific areas and rebuild it, while we focus on your front end digestion, your back end digestion, to bring that nourishment back so that we get immunity. So there's another concept in Ayurveda, or another kind of umbrella term. It's called Agni. It is your digestive fire. It's your metabolism. It's cellular respiration, any transformation in the body of input, right? So it might not just be food, assimilating food and transferring it into energy or a food source that works for you. They also believe that, again, because we don't separate mind, body, and soul, they do believe that there is an Agni in your eyes, there's an Agni in your heart, as well as an Agni in your gut, right? So the Agni in your gut obviously is going to be central to the process of digestion. Break down food, nutrient components, and convert it into waste products. It's going to be your bile, your digestive enzymes. All of that function, chemical conversion that occurs when you process food. They're very big on being mindful of what you ingest with your eyes, because you want to make sure that you are strong enough to be able to process what you're viewing. But from a heart perspective, they want to preserve the Agni in your heart as well, because we have to deal with emotions and metabolize emotions. They do believe that if you do not appropriately process these inputs, and you will have resultant emotional baggage, so to speak, stuffed into your cells. So we look at toxins in the body from a little bit different perspective. It's not just going to be undigested food stuff, it's going to be undigested emotion. So maintaining Agni is dependent, your immune system is dependent on having positive Agni. If you don't have positive Agni, let's say your digestion is impaired, Ayurveda believes that you will not fully process what is coming into the system. It will result in a toxin that they call ama. Again, another umbrella term. It's going to be undigested food that can accumulate in the body. They consider it to be the root cause of the weakened immune system, as well as a main contributor to the development of various diseases and chronic illnesses. I tell people, if you wake up in the morning and you look at your tongue, if you have a coating, you have ama. We all are going to have a coating because we live in the Western world. Depending on how deep it is, it might just be in the back of your tongue. So then we know it's just focused in the digestive tract. If it covers your entire tongue, Ayurveda would believe that you are systemically compromised by ama. Some of the symptoms of ama, you might have brain fog, hard time falling asleep. You may have cholesterol, acne, other types of diagnoses. You're compromised by ama, according to Ayurveda. So I put this in cursive to kind of make it pretty, but it's interesting because they consider it to be a rotten, undigested, toxic sludge that clogs all of your organs and your channels within your body. Again, it is putrid and toxic, sticks to your gastrointestinal tracts, clogs your arteries, seeps under the skin, creeps into the subtle channels of your mind, and it is the greatest threat, according to Ayurveda, for positive health and well-being. So if we have a properly functioning front-end digestion, our Agni is strong. We limit the development of ama, and we move to processly digesting food so that we develop our immune system, or ojas. So there's a great Ayurvedic wisdom: without proper diet, medicine is of no use. With proper diet, medicine is of no need. So what are some of the practices that you guys can do that, according to Ayurveda, that kind of put in your back pocket to develop this subtle energy called ojas? So they go back to the doshas. We want to make sure that you identify your unique energy within your body. Are you predominantly vata, pitta, or kapha by constitution? And how has life deviated you from that original constitution? So we're going to support that digestion, make sure you're eliminating on a daily basis. And they do pay very close attention to seasonal adaptations. And they believe that you pick up subtle energies, right? We're human beings. You're a microcosm of the macrocosm. So if you're in Florida and it's super hot and you're somebody who's prone to pitta and you're finding yourself very quick to anger, you may have picked up a little bit too much seasonal heat, and we would want to work to dump that out. Proper and complete nourishment drives the development of ojas, and we do this by incorporating herbal support. Specifically for immunity, we're going to target herbs that are known as adaptogens. So what are adaptogens? So they're a class of herbs and mushrooms that are believed to help the body adapt to stress and thereby promote immunity. I love the definition from the Cleveland Clinic. When consumed, these plants target specific stressors in our body. Adaptogens are natural substances, typically derived from plants and herbs, that help the body adapt to stress and maintain homeostasis. They work by supporting the body's ability to cope with physical, chemical, and biological stressors. They also help with the mind, being able to handle those types of stress. So what is the definition? How do you know if a plant qualifies under the definition of an adaptogen? They're going to have 3 qualities that a plant must have in order to meet this categorization. Number 1, it has to be non-toxic when taken in normal doses, and that it will not harm normal functions of the body. Number 2, it helps your body cope with stress by assisting the human body in resisting a wide range of adverse conditions, such as physical, chemical, and biological stress. It also allows your body to return to balance or homeostasis by offsetting or resisting physical disorders caused by external stress. So we have a loop in the body, a response to stimuli that comes in. Our body might react and heighten stress response. Adaptogens are going to help you get back to homeostasis or a more resting state. So how do these actually work? They regulate the stress response that I was just referencing. So they modulate the body's stress response by interacting with the hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal, or the HPA axis, and the sympathico, or I can't even say it right. Hold on, sympathoadrenal system. And this helps balance the release of hormones like cortisol, preventing an overreaction to stress and promoting a state of equilibrium. They also enhance energy and stamina. They can improve your physical performance and your endurance by increasing the body's resistance to fatigue. They do this by supporting cellular energy production, reducing oxidative stress, which helps maintain energy levels and stamina. They support your immune function. Adaptogens can enhance the immune system by regulating the production of activity of immune cells. They help the body resist infections and illnesses by strengthening the immune system and improving your overall resilience. They've also been shown to improve cognitive function, driving an improvement in mental clarity, focus, and cognitive function. They are said to support your brain health because they help reduce the impact of the stress, or your Agni, on the nervous system, promoting optimal neurotransmitter balance. So they also balance mood. Adaptogens are amazing at stabilizing the mood. They do this by influencing neurotransmitter activity, again, reducing that stress and impact on the brain. The result is that it can lead to improved emotional well-being, the reduction of symptoms of anxiety and depression. They achieve some of this goal with their anti-inflammatory effects. Many adaptogens have anti-inflammatory properties that help reduce chronic inflammation, which gets exacerbated by stress. When we lower inflammation, we help protect ourselves against a various host of stress-related issues. Adaptogens also have compounds that act as antioxidants, so they protect your cells from damage caused by free radicals and support overall health and longevity. So how are adaptogens believed to affect our immunity, right? So we talked a little bit how they regulate the production of stress hormones. So they're going to target regulating cortisol and adrenaline. They're being studied for endocrine regulation because they're believed to exert effects that regulate, again, your body's response to stress. This is my favorite thing about adaptogens. They exhibit bidirectional effects. So if you need to get an increase of energy when you're fatigued, but you don't want to feel wired and you want to feel rested and relaxed and calm at the same time, adaptogens have an ability to meet both of those targets simultaneously. So they're known for having bidirectional effects. So one of the hallmark adaptogens that we're going to talk about that you guys have probably heard about because it's trending on TikTok is ashwagandha. So ashwagandha has an ability to make you feel calm and rested. It's been studied in white paper studies to have a similar effect to Lexapro, a low dose of Lexapro. It takes about 3 weeks to saturate your tissues, but at the same time, you feel rejuvenated and you feel as if you have energy. And it's because in Ayurveda, it's known to rebuild some of the system. It's considered a builder. So just check to see if we have any questions. Okay. So what is immunity? When we look at immunity from a Western perspective, it's the ability for an organism to resist a particular infection or a toxin by the action of specific antibodies or sensitized white blood cells. So it does involve a complex network of cells, tissues, and organs that all work together to stop invaders like bacteria, viruses, or pathogens. In Ayurveda, again, because they love umbrella terms, one of my favorite is called krumi, and krumi is bacteria, viruses, or any pathogens, anything that's coming into the body to cause harm that should not be there. We just simply call it krumi. In Western, right, so the physical body, there's an innate immunity and an adaptive immunity. So innate immunity is going to be your first line of defense. It's non-specific, and it's going to include barriers like your skin, your mucous membranes, chemical barriers, again, your stomach acid, your enzymes in saliva, and various immune cells like phagocytes and natural killer cells, that those quickly respond to invaders. In Ayurveda, they like to pay close attention to those membranes. So there's a couple of things that we do at Ayurveda. Number one, in the morning, we will put oil in our nose, but it's herbalized oil and we call it nasya. There could be different formulas. It's just a couple of drops in each nose. There are a lot of herbs in there to open up communication, calm the brain, allow you to have more focus while remaining, again, calm, bidirectional. And then also, it's just great at nourishing those layers. You can follow it up with acupressure to help drain out what's congested in your head. So when we do Nasi at the clinic, people will come and lay down, and it's about 15 minutes. We'll oilate the nose with a formula and then help them drain by using specific acupressure, or what we call marma points. So something that you can do at home. They're also very big at protecting the skin, right? As we can see, it's part of our innate immunity. So in our Ayurveda, every morning we're going to put oil on our skin, depending on your dosha or what energy you're trying to control will dictate the ingredients. But on the whole, sesame is tridoshic, and so anybody can lather up every day in sesame. So you'll put it on head to toe, long strokes on the bones, circular motion on the joints. In Ayurveda, they believe it only takes 90 seconds to get to the bone. And kind of the goal in life is to stay juicy. So we want to get those oils into our body. From a psychological perspective, you'll feel very grounded for the rest of the day. But it's just great for the skin. They'll tell you to sit and meditate for about 20 minutes. I tell people, if you can brush your teeth and keep it on, I'm thrilled. But then afterwards, you'll rinse it off. Be careful not to slip because you'll become quite slick. But that's one of the ways that they protect your innate immune system. Adaptive immunity is going to be more of a response, a learned patterned response to a stimuli. So, for example, a pathogen will show up and your body will be activated to create B cells and T cells or lymphocytes, and they'll produce these antibodies. Your adaptive immune system has a memory that can be long lasting. So that's why, for example, if you got COVID once, it was much easier when you got it the second time, because your body had this memory of how to, oh, I know this. I know exactly what I'm supposed to make, right? So then what about herbs? So what are the herbs that these adaptogens that we're going to talk about today There's 10 of them that we're going to go through. Again, we mentioned a little bit of ashwagandha. Turmeric, most people are familiar with. Some of the others I'm thinking are going to be foreign. If anybody knows these, you have to tell me or put your hand in the chat. But Tulsi, Amalaki, Guduchi, Neem, Shatavari, licorice, Hariataki, and Brahmi. So these are 10 adaptogens that we try to incorporate in Ayurveda to support the immune system. Again, ashwagandha is an adaptogen. It helps the body quickly recover and adapt to stress. It's been shown to drive resilience, which help keep the immune system strong. It literally, from Sanskrit, translates to strength of a horse, referring to its strengthening and stamina building effect on the body and the mind. The botanical name translates to sleep inducing. So a lot of people may have to take ashwagandha at night. It's great to help you fall asleep. It is shown to support healthy adrenals. It has an anti-inflammatory effect. And again, because it's a builder, according to Ayurveda, it helps support muscles and joints. Has a cooling effect on the body. Turmeric. So turmeric is something everybody kind of knows, but you may not know some of the properties in turmeric and how it affects the body. It is an anti-inflammatory, which most people know. It'll also help with digestion. It's known to reduce bloating. It's a carminative. It's a gas buster. It can help support liver function. It's being studied for its ability to improve blood circulation, lower inflammation, specifically in the cardiovascular system, and it has an ability to lower LDL cholesterol. It's also heavily studied to document its anti-cancer properties. What most of you may not know, at least I didn't, was that it's also a source of vitamin C, B6, iron, potassium, manganese, copper, zinc, calcium, and phosphorus. And I do include a picture of fresh. A lot of these herbs will oxidize after about 2 weeks. So the fresher they are, the better. So if you've never seen actual fresh turmeric, I encourage you guys to get it. It's going to be just about anywhere. BJ's, Costco, Publix, they all have it. And it's going to be much brighter than when you're accustomed to in a jar, more pungent and more flavorful. Tulsi is also known as holy basil. It's something that they use in holy water. So Tulsi is very rich in vitamin C and zinc. It's a natural immune booster, keeping infections at bay. Tulsi is one of the cornerstone herbs in Ayurveda for immune system because it has a whole host of properties. It's an antibacterial, an antiviral, and an antifungal. So it's great at helping us fight off certain infections. It's been shown to increase white blood cells. It is an adaptogen, right? So it's packed with antioxidants. It helps with cellular recovery from stressors and environmental toxins. So it does help your body detox and it protects the body from free radicals. It's known for fostering feelings of relaxation and well-being. So amalaki is probably one nobody's ever heard of, or amla. So it's not really an herb, but I like to include it because we dry it into a fruit. I mean, it's a fruit that we dry into an herb. But what's so fascinating about it is has one of the highest known concentrations of vitamin C in the plant kingdom. One amla fruit has 25 times more vitamin C than an orange. So you'll see amla used in a lot of Ayurvedic formulas because we want to get that vitamin C in us for immunity, but it's also got a great action on the gut. It strengthens the immune system, assists with gentle removal of toxins, peristaltic movement. It's a source of vitamin A and E, iron, calcium, and fiber. The polyphenol content, especially the tannins, support the digestive tract with detoxification by soothing, toning, and rejuvenating the bowels. So this is another Ayurvedic term. It's called sattva. Sattva means it's more health promoting. It's going to be something that's good for your brain. And it is a practice, like if you eat food that's very good for you, you are acting in a sattvic manner, versus maybe that cheeseburger and French fries probably isn't going to be very enlightening. Might taste amazing, but it might not be very enlightening for the physical body or the mind. So this is considered to be a very sattvic herb because it fosters a subtle awareness while balancing emotions and bringing a sense of calm to the mind. The content of vitamin C and amalaki also helps with the bones, your hair, your teeth, your nails, healthy heart and respiratory system. Guduchi. Guduchi is one of my favorite herbs. It translates to infuser of uplifting light and energy. It's an herb that helps increase the effectiveness of productive white blood cells. It is packed with antioxidants and it acts as an anti-inflammatory. It's also a powerful antimicrobial, but it's also a rejuvenating tonic. It's said to promote longevity and vitality. And the reason they believe it does that is, according to Ayurveda, Guduchi has an ability to go in at a cellular level and scrape out toxins from the body. So we talked about Amalaki, how we want to keep the bowels moving. Guduchi goes more deeper into the body, deeper. As we get older, we're more exposed to deeper levels of Ama that get deeper into our body and into our cells. Guduchi has an ability to go in and scrape it out. It also supports healthy functioning of liver and kidneys. And I just think it makes you smarter. I don't know what it is about it, but if you try it, let me know how you like it. Guduchi makes more clarity throughout the day. Everybody that tries it falls in love with Guduchi. Neem is also one of my favorites because it's such an easy herb to get, especially if you have young kids. They get the flu, they get a fungal infection, ringworm, any of those types. If anybody works in a garden, you've probably sprayed neem to kill a fungus, when watered down onto a plant, but it's something that we can eat as well. So neem is an herb that you can purchase. We also might put it on the skin or on the hair, mixed in with other carrier oils because it's pretty strong. It's if you ever go on a cruise ship and you get I can't remember what they're called, those bed bugs, neem. It's an antiviral agent. It inhibits virus production, which minimizes the impact of a viral infection. It has blood purifying properties, clearing out toxins, antibacterial, antimicrobial. It's been shown to promote wound healing. It's very effective in your teeth for oral activity. Most Ayurvedic toothpastes include neem. Regular use of neem-based mouthwash or toothpaste can significantly improve oral hygiene. It has a very bitter taste, which means, according to Ayurveda, it's going to stimulate that liver, which drives detoxifying, but it also has a very cooling nature on the body. So if we're inflamed, neem can help. It plays an important role in keeping the body's microbes in balance. It's been found to create an environment that supports healthy bacteria, but it's also detrimental to bad bacteria. So when you take antibiotics, they're going to kill everything, whereas neem has an intelligence to be able to support the positive bacteria while eliminating the bad. The newest science on neem suggests that it's an antagonistic to biofilms. So I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with biofilms or if there's anybody in the group that gets recurrent UTIs. If you do get recurrent UTIs, they believe that these bugs are super smart. So they create this biofilm in your bladder. They hide behind the biofilm. They cling into the intestinal wall or inside your bladder. They hide out. You take an antibiotic, it goes through the bloodstream, kills whoever didn't get behind the barrier. And then they wait and they send out a messenger to kind of test the waters. If they come back, they know that that antibiotic has left the body and they repopulate and re-thrive. So there are several herbs that qualify as biofilm busters, but neem is one of them. It's being studied for its ability to kind of break down that biofilm so that if you're taking an antibiotic or if you're taking neem, it can do the work that it needs to do. Shatavari is a beautiful herb. It's actually asparagus root. It has high in antioxidants. It's immune boosting. It's bitter and sweet in taste at the same time, but it has an amazing cooling effect on the body or the system. If anybody is trying to get pregnant or if they have issues with their reproductive system, this is the herb that we're going to recommend. It translates to 10,000 husbands. So it basically is something to support that reproductive system. It's very unctuous or loving. It builds in nature. So if you're looking to have a nourishing and grounding effect, shatavari can help. It's one of the powerful rasayana herbs or rejuvenative. So if we were trying to rebuild someone who's been broken down by stress, or inflammation, this would be a good herb to give to them. It's also a demulcent, which means that it drives moisture to the intestines. So it's known for helping produce a bowel movement if someone's very chronically dry. throughout the body. Shatavari is going to be herb that we use. And again, if you remember how Ayurveda says that it takes 35 days, and then once we nourish the reproductive system, we create immunity or ojas. So this is why we focus on that organ system in Ayurveda. So haritaki is in Triphala. Again, not quite an herb, but it comes from 3 fruits, but we do dry it down into herb to powders. So Ayurveda does include it. But the magic of Triphala is that it drives a normalization of bowel movements, but it also detoxifies by pulling microbes of bacteria out of the blood. It's known for its cleansing blood properties, liver, digestive tract. It's super high in vitamin C, right? Because we talked about amalaki. So it has this ability to drive vitamin C into the body while also being an anti-inflammatory. If you have somebody with acne, Triphala is great. You can just put it on the skin. You can ingest it. It's used for weight management because it helps produce a bowel movement, but it does contain vitamin C, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, iron, zinc, and manganese. It's also a combination that makes you feel a little bit more full. And it's known for helping, once you're producing all of these things, it helps with the blood sugar management. So another herb that most of us have heard of is called licorice. So licorice is amazing for the digestive tract. It also reduces inflammation and promotes healthy digestion. It's a phytoestrogen. So if we're having hormonal issues or menopause issues, phytoestrogens help balance that out. It's again a demulcent, similar to shatavari. So it has that ability to bring that moisture to the intestines, but it's also going to soothe irritated mucous membranes. If you have any issues with asthma, licorice might be something that would be in a we call them churnas, but in a mixture that we would give to someone because it's an expectorant for respiratory health. It's also an antimicrobial and an antifungal. Most interesting is that licorice has a hepatoprotective property, so it protects the liver while also containing B6, potassium, magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, iron, and zinc. Brahmi is an adaptogen. It's known for reducing the effects of free radicals, especially in the brain. It's actually being studied for reducing neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's because it does have strong anti-inflammatory properties. So if somebody has arthritis or gout, Brahmi is going to be in there. If somebody also has ADHD or ADD, Brahmi is going to be one of the herbs that they get as part of their program or their protocol, because it's known for boosting memory. It can help focus with concentration and the brain's ability to process. One of the treatments that we do in the clinic is you lay down for about 45 minutes to an hour. An herbalized oil will flow very gently over your forehead. It stimulates the pituitary gland, but there are also channels on the skin that can drive the herbs and the oils into the brain, according to Ayurveda, and I believe it was recently validated with Western. Brahmi is going to be one of the herbs that's in there because we want to help reduce those feelings of restlessness, impulsivity, inattention. When you do this practice with the oil, it's called Shirodhara. When you're on MRI before and after, you can see the change in the brain waves. So we start creating theta waves, which are more resting waves. Brahmi is also used to help lower blood pressure and aid in cell regeneration. So again, if somebody you know has acne or dryness or pigmentation of the skin, Brahmi might be something that we would give them. So I threw out a whole bunch of herbs at you guys. There's like 10 of them. So what I wanted to do was tell you about something called Chavan Prash. Probably, I don't think anybody in the group's ever heard of Chavan Prash, but if they have, I'd like to hear from you. It is a health tonic in Ayurveda, and they use it throughout the world. It is like a jam of a whole host of herbs and spices that are kind of mixed into this brown jelly. It's kind of like a thick jelly. You can put it on toast. My mother absolutely loves it. She puts it in her oatmeal. I might put a spoonful of it in a cup of tea. You can basically incorporate it in any way that you can. It's a super easy way to just have 1 spoonful a day of all of these herbs in one. It's that dark brown, very sticky-like substance. It's made from herbs and spices. You'll find that a lot of people or suppliers will have slightly different formulas, but overall, These are at a minimum going to be in there. It was legend to be created for a king who was infertile, and so they basically threw everything in there but the kitchen sink. It does have ashwagandha, cardamom, which is a gas buster, but it's also an herb that, remember we talked about how the digestion is so important for your immune system? Cardamom is going to be an herb that when you ingest it, it can help stimulate the production of digestive enzymes. Same with cinnamon, ghee, and I'll talk a little bit about ghee, honey, long pepper or pipali. Pipali is a great herb that has an affinity for the lungs. Can be very heating though, so be careful. Saffron, sandalwood, it has sesame oil in it. We talked about guduchi, talked about haryataki, brahmi, shatavari, tulsi. Musta is a new one. Musta is great for clearing out the lymph, and neem. So they kind of pack all these in to give you one source to be able to consume it all. So again, I talked about Chyavanprash was created based on the ancient text. The primary aim is promoting overall health and well-being. It has a very high vitamin C content and other immunomodulatory ingredients. We talked about how some of those herbs can drive digestion, right? So it's going to improve metabolism. It's got adaptogens, so we're going to improve energy and vitality. There's some herbs in there for your respiratory health and function, but we also don't want to separate mind, body, and spirit. So there are also herbs in there for enhancing memory, concentration, and overall clarity. Again, it's usually consumed by the spoonful. You can mix it in warm milk or water, spread it on bread, and take it every day, especially in the colder months, to help strengthen your immune system. So the one thing I didn't include in here is ghee. So ghee, I always like to talk about. I don't know if there's anybody in the group that uses ghee. I was curious. So ghee is clarified butter. What we do is we take unsalted butter, boil it very slowly. I should say boil, but simmer it. And if you have kids or anybody who's younger, even adults, it's very satisfying to watch. You'll see all the impurities kind of bubble up to the top, and you'll kind of scoop them out. And as it's slowly simmering, there'll be silt that kind of goes to the bottom of the pan. And when that sits on the bottom of the pan, that's the impurities that we don't want. So it's lactose free, it's casein free, and you're going to have just the golden nectar in the center, and we call that sattvic, right? Because it's golden nectar that helps the body. It's going to be positive for the human. And so ghee is known for, it's just an amazing component. So if you have butter, swap in ghee instead. So what it does is it's high in butyric acid, so it feeds positive gut bacteria. It's studied in white papers to downregulate carcinogenic enzymes in the liver or activities in the liver. It also helps correct the metabolism. Again, we talked about ama, so there's toxins. That toxins in the body are going to impede your overall health. Ghee is fat soluble, so if you do like a fast and you drink a lot of water, that's great, but you're only going to get out things that are water soluble. Whereas ghee has an ability to go into the fat, bind to the toxins, and then you'll either process it out through the bowels or you'll urinate it out. So ghee can also help with weight loss. It's been shown to assist with hormone balancing. It's kind of the number one thing you can do. So if you just do Chyavanprash and ghee, you'll probably have a better chance at balancing your immune system. The one nice thing about ghee is if you have acid reflux, or if you have compromised digestion that's maybe less of a digestive fire, it's going to stimulate those enzymes and help you digest a little bit more. It's also very simple to eat. So if people like to eat harder meals, I tell them just kind of put a little spoonful of ghee with some herbs like cumin, coriander, fennel, or we talked about ginger, turmeric. You can put those in there and it'll help you stimulate the production of digestive enzymes so that you can process that meal. So I included a little link for study in case anybody wanted to nerd out a little bit further. This is a study on adaptogens, comparing them to the bioactivity in traditional Chinese medicine and how these herbs are used worldwide. Ask me when I was little. So that's all I've got for the presentation today. I hope you guys enjoyed it.